Hello everyone, welcome to another one of my royal videos. Recently I was talking about the rift between Prince William and Prince Harry, and I noticed that the previous video has a lot of viewings, and I believe that this is because many of you are very interested with this conflict and with all of this. And I think that I will make few more videos about this in the future, because believe me, I do have a lot to say in the matter. But today I decided to do something a little different, something lighter, something more fun. And today I will say a few words about the three adorable Wells siblings. So I think that you will all enjoy it. We can all agree that they are little sunshines, absolutely adorable trio that we all adore. So I will give you my take on all the Wells siblings in the proper order. And I would like to start from Prince George, because of course he's the oldest one. He's the heir to the throne. And Prince George was born in 2013. He will be 12 in July this year. And I can still remember very well all the excitement surrounding Princess of Wales. Oh, she was Princess of Cambridge back then, Catherine. Her first pregnancy. That was a huge excitement all over the world. Everyone were wondering whether she's going to have a boy or a girl, because we didn't know that. The public was not aware whether she was pregnant with a boy or a girl. Of course, I think that she and William and the close family knew, but they didn't reveal the gender of their baby to the public, and maybe that's better, because there was much greater excitement till the end, right? So I will tell you that I think that we all had our expectations, and frankly, I was hoping that they are going to have a little girl first, because they changed the law shortly before Catherine gave birth to her first child. They changed the law and they allowed firstborn daughters to be heirs to the throne, because earlier, if there was a daughter, older daughter in the family, and there was a younger brother, the brother had a priority and he became the future monarch. And that was of course not fair, and I'm glad that the royal family finally entered 21st century and they decided to change this very unfair law. So I was hoping that they are going to have a little girl first, because as we know, the history shows us that the queens in England are getting so much better job done than the kings. But unfortunately, the boy was first, so Prince George was born in July 2013. I remember that when they announced that Princess Catherine is going to the hospital, we were all anxiously waiting, maybe in front of a TV or in front of the internet. And I remember the news breaking that she gave birth to a boy. Everyone went wild. I noticed that even people here in Poland, who normally are not very excited about the royal family, they were just posting on Facebook happy posts like, it's a boy, and I was very surprised, but also very happy that such wonderful institution as British royal family can get together so many different people. And I remember that everything in London went blue, there was like blue fountain. The tower was lightning blue. There was just, crazy excitement. And what I also remember and what I admired Princess of Cambridge back then, Catherine, that after giving birth to her first child, she had a strength to, get some makeup, done hair. She dressed beautifully and she went outside with William and little George to show him to the world. It could not have been easy. That was her first labor, so she must have been exhausted, even though she looked really great when she just, went outside the hospital. And that's a tradition which was started by Princess Diana because she was showing her newborn babies to the world. And now this tradition is being continued. And I think it's great. It's very nice, but it's very tiring and exhausting for the new mothers. Prince George was a very sweet and chubby little boy. I still remember his photos from early childhood because I love chubby babies. So really, his photos were so cute. He was just adorable. What can we say about Prince George now? I often I often hear opinions about Prince George that he is too shy, he's too withdrawn, that he has some form of, I don't know, maybe autism or something. That's of course not fair to the little boy, because just imagine, from the very early childhood, he's under depression. He knows what his future is going to look like. He knows that he has to be the king someday. It could be overwhelming for an adult. I know that many princess of Wales had a huge problem with such responsibility. And I think that it can't be very easy for the little boy. So I wouldn't judge him too harshly for being a little shy, a little quiet, and just keeping himself on the side of events. I was very pleasantly surprised recently, where there were VE celebrations in England last week, when Prince George wanted to meet the World War II veterans on his own. That was his own wish that he expressed, and his parents took him to the evening tea so he could meet and talk to the veterans, and that was really lovely. He showed a lot of maturity for his age. This is my English, my bad English. And I really liked it. He showed the first signs of being dutiful, and that was lovely. Now I'm going to say a few words about our favorite one. I mean, he's not my absolute favorite, but I love him too, Prince Louis. Prince Louis is the most rambunctious boy there can be. I mean, seriously. He's like, oh my god, I don't envy his parents of raising him. He's the little barrel of fun. He's making all the official celebrations fun to watch because his faces, the things he's doing, I mean, this is hilarious. But he's the youngest one. He was born in April 2018, and from what I've read, Prince William and Princess Catherine were arguing a bit about the number of the children that they wish to have. Prince William wanted to have 2 children because he was raised as just him and Harry, so there were 2 siblings. And Princess Catherine wanted to have 3 children because she was raised with 2 siblings, so there were 3 of them. So she thought that 3 is a perfect thing. And of course, we see whose idea won. Of course, Catherine won. In such cases, normally women are winning. And looking at Louis' behavior now, sometimes I'm joking that maybe when they are very tired and exhausted with Louis' behavior, they are, maybe sometimes William is saying to Catherine, you see, we could have had 2 children and it would be fine. We wouldn't have such a problem. Now I'm just joking, of course. I think that Louis is just, their little sweetheart, their little toy. They are all annoyed with his behavior from time to time, but I think they all adore him. And I'm just hoping that this is just a phase in Louis' character, and that with time he will grow for a responsible man. And I'm hoping that he won't turn to be the black sheep like his Uncle Harry, and that he won't disgrace the royal family the way his uncle did. So let's just keep the fingers crossed. And then I'm going to say a few words about my absolute favorite, which is Princess Charlotte. Princess Charlotte is the middle child. She was born in May 2015. She just turned 10 years old a few days ago. And when Princess Catherine was pregnant and the Queen found out that they are going to have a girl, she was very excited. She was very happy about the girl because Queen Elizabeth had a very good relationship with her own and only daughter, Princess Anne. So I think that she was happy for Catherine and William. And when Catherine gave birth to Charlotte and they announced that it's a girl, I was crazy. I always thought that little girls are just so much cuter than little boys. So I was over the moon from happiness. And again, we had Catherine going outside the hospital to show her to the world. We had some cute photos of little George holding his sister. That was very lovely. And from the early age of Princess Charlotte, I noticed a very specific behavior of hers. She was really she's a boss in the family. I noticed that there was a funny situation where Prince Louis was born and he was christened, and she was like 3 years old maybe. And she went to the chapel with William holding his hand, and there were a bunch of photographers waiting there, and she turned their way and she said, "You're not coming." And then I thought to myself, oh dear, then we have the boss in the family. And I also read many times that there was a very special bond between Princess Charlotte and Queen Elizabeth II. She was her favorite great-grandchild. She gave her a special present shortly before she died, a little brooch in the shape of the horse, because Princess Charlotte likes to ride a horse. And I can still remember, I think we all still remember those sad photos from Queen Elizabeth's funeral, where little Charlotte was crying openly. So that was very, very touching. And there were a few moments where I love about Charlotte, where she's putting her brother to order. And for example, during the Queen's Jubilee, when the Wells siblings were riding in the carriage and they were sitting in one row, I think that Princess Charlotte was in the middle and the boys were on the side. And Louis, we all know as he was just waving excessively to the crowds all the time. And after a while, Princess Charlotte got annoyed with it, so she just took his hand and just put it down, just to tell him, "Louis, that's enough. You're waving too much," right? And then my second favorite scene from the Queen's Jubilee was when that was probably the last public appearance on the Buckingham balcony of the Queen during her Jubilee in June 2022, where she was already very ill, and I think that she knew that those were her last moments. So she didn't participate in the whole 4-day Jubilee, but she only participated in few events. And showing up on the balcony with Prince Charles, with Camilla, and with the Cambridge family was one of her last public appearances. And they were all standing, waving to the crowd, and there was a national anthem about to be played. And I noticed that Princess Charlotte was just leaning towards George, telling him that he should stand straight because they are going to play the national anthem. Because, the boys are the boys. Louis was just, Louis was going crazy as usual, and George was just standing there, so Princess Charlotte had to correct him. And Queen Elizabeth noticed that, so she also leaned towards Princess Charlotte, and she had the most warm smile that I have seen on her. And back then I thought to myself that maybe she thought that was her last moments, but she can go away peacefully because there is a next very beautiful generation of strong women coming. So she can die in peace because she's leaving the monarchy in good hands. And I strongly believe, I have high hopes for Princess Charlotte. Of course, if I was responsible for the future of the British monarchy, I would make Charlotte the future monarch, because she's the born queen, let's face it. From the whole three Wales siblings, Charlotte is the one who I think would do it best, but because it's not possible, I have high hopes for her, and I'm hoping that she will support her brother Prince George when he will become a king, just like Princess Anne is still supporting King Charles at the moment. Of course, I may not be around to see this because I'm born in the same generation as William and Catherine. So once there will be a time for them to pass by the baton to the next generation, I will probably not be around to see it, because I suppose that we will all die in the same time. But one way or another, I hope that Charlotte can be a supportive sister for the future king. So guys, this is it for me in this video. This is much lighter and fun topic video than the last one, and I hope that you will gladly watch it. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Bye.